Boom. We are live. Haiti Biz News. We are on all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. As folks start to pile in, I want to wish everyone a good morning. This is June 28th. We have another episode, another opportunity to talk about what's going on in the country. So much to talk about over a very productive week. Lots of good news. At least personally speaking, you'll know why in a second. Airports reopen. Big deal for me, right? In addition, just lots of things to talk about. As folks are piling in, come on, pile in, grab a seat, have a seat. Got lots to discuss, lots to talk about today, right? And for those who may be watching it after the fact, remember 11 a.m. Sundays, you can always catch us. You can always participate. I read all comments live on air. It's a conversation we're trying to have. So if you can catch it live, do try to catch it live. It's a much better experience. The more you can contribute your experiences in person, the better conversation we can have, as always. So good morning, Haiti Biz News. As per usual, weekly news wrap up. We talk about economics. We talk about things that are impacting small business, diaspora activities. Right? We do everything, talk about everything, but we do our best to avoid politics. We don't got time for that. That happens everywhere else. We try to keep ourselves out as much as possible. I'll bet the problem with Haiti is everything. Politics affects everything, right? All roads lead to politics. So of course I do have to give updates related to it, but we try not to dive into personal feelings per usual. You know what I mean? We have considerable. Of course, you guys are probably seeing right now that the style change. I'm trying a different look, a little way so I can make a little better connection, eye contact, conversation. So I changed the angle, got some little devices. And honestly, a big part of to why has been the incredible feedback we've been getting lately. We've been getting a lot of folks who've been just appreciating the work we've been doing here on Haiti Biz News. And I wanted to show you guys the immediate impact of a lot of the donations and funds you guys have been providing, right? And so I've had to use some of these funds to go ahead and try to change the setup, get a little crisper image, right? So again, you guys who've been really helping out CGente, I just want to show you your funds are being used to improve the quality of the emission. So much appreciated. Of course, you can see that on the bottom. Most recently, we have Ketli Artis and then Johnny Rosenthal, who provided stuff off air. Of course, the folks who even on air get immediate shout out. Certainly appreciated. But of course, what you can always do is share the stream for those who are looking to impact just as equally. Sharing the stream, getting more folks inside, is as important. As always, we have CGente on location. YouTube CGente. You can always go to either the Facebook, either YouTube, and catch a lot of the content we've produced prior COVID. And of course, we've tried to do our best to stay on the post and still fulfill the mission of CGente, which is getting that conversation going, showing that it's possible to make progress in the country, right? And in that effect, we've had the podcast. The podcast is now approaching episode 16, right? We've published 15 episodes, approaching episode 16. And I do want to say that we are very near the season finale. For the podcast, we are cutting it into seasons, right? Something we got to do, given that it's not just me producing the content, but I do have a co-host, and given our schedules and given what's going on, we do want to truncate into seasons so we can dedicate when we're on, and then focus on other stuff we have to focus on when we're off. And so we filmed our last guest of the season, which is someone who I can't wait to drop that episode and engage in his story. He's someone he's employing over 400 people right now in Haiti and across a lot of different ventures. So can't wait to drop that episode and have him really round out the experience, which is going to be so fun. But even before then, of course, the episode we dropped prior, Marie's story, right? Our last episode, Marie's story, the deportee story. So many folks have hit me up and said, CGente, thank you for providing that story, providing that perspective, right? Because that's something I haven't seen anywhere, minus, when they're actually being deported or arriving, do we have these sort of real conversations about what the person may have done in that past life and what they're doing now. And I need someone who, though she did have a pretty hard knock life, she's in Haiti now, educating youth, building homes, and providing her channel to show the world what Haiti really is. And what Haiti really is isn't, a gang infested crime zone. It isn't just poverty. It's really Haiti is a story of hope, possibility, and a raw, real life. And I think Mari's channel, Life in Haiti, really does show that daily. She drops videos. And if you haven't listened to her story, man, listen, as soon as you're done here, go catch episode 15. It's on all those platforms, in addition to YouTube, CGNT. So definitely check out that podcast. It's honestly, it's our most watched episode so far for a reason, right? And the reason will become very evident if you can just catch 10 minutes, and you'll see you won't stop. For real, I'm for real. All right, so that's the podcast, and so make sure to catch it. And of course, as always, share the stream. So let's get into some of the highlights, some of the headlines. We're going to be talking about today. Of course, top of the hour, superseding even some of the COVID stuff. I usually start with the airports reopening. We're going to talk about that. COVID numbers, of course, right? Prisons. There's been some improvements in the prison situation. We're going to talk about that. Notorious Emmanuel Toto Constant is in Haiti. We're going to update you on how it's going with him. International aid. There's been some movement, right, into Haiti. We're going to talk about that. Sahara sand. Anyone who's in country right now, this past week, has experienced Sahara sand. We're going to experience it too here in South Florida. It's not fun. We're going to talk about that. Banking on depreciating the currency. That's a new story. You don't want to miss that. We have some economic indicators, and finally, right, the Haitian Institute of Statistics and Informatics, under the Economic and Finance Department Ministry, has, after a long break, has given us 3/4 of stats. I'm happy. We're gonna be talking about that, and education. A little brief update on the education situation. So those are the news stories, meaty subjects, right? And I'm very excited to go ahead and present and discuss those episodes today. So again, for those who feel like they have folks who could benefit from these stories, make sure you share the stream. All right. And also, I do want to mention too that I will be on the United Front of the Haitian Diaspora. They're doing a Black Lives Matter virtual rally later today, starting from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. I will go ahead and share that stream when it starts on my CGNT Facebook page. So for those who are so inclined, you guys can watch really a lot of very influential people across the board, from Haitian American representatives and senators, mayors, folks who are allies will be presenting. A lot of activists will be presenting. A lot of folks who are impacting from an economic perspective are going to be presenting. And so make sure if you're available around 2 to 4 p.m. today, Eastern, to definitely check out the stream. Again, a virtual Black Lives Matter rally. I've been invited. I'll be somewhere around 3 o'clock. I'll be on to talk very briefly of some of the things. You already know me, guys. If I'm on there, and how I believe where change needs to happen. It needs to happen economically by us, doing what we need to do in terms of spending our dollars the right way, investing our dollars the right way to change the system, right? So sort of I'm gonna be from that perspective, but there's a lot of different perspectives that can be talked about. So make sure you catch that, right? Again, 2 p.m. Black Lives virtual rally, United Front of the Haitian Diaspora's page. All right. So we have a couple folks I want to say what's up to this morning. We got Obed Noel. Hey, man. Good morning. C'est quoi ça? Ah, nous là, posé sous bloc glace. Vous connaissez. Éviter malédiction, comme you dit. We got Jonathan Lamar, who's out there in Haiti. You know, good to see you, man. Good morning, for sure. I'm glad you are out of Florida. I think we've had 9,500 COVID cases out here, man. It is nasty. It is something else right now in that country, in that state, in the state I'm in, unfortunately. But hopefully, I can't wait to get the heck out very soon. We got G Darius 10. Good morning, man. Good to see you. Happy to have you this morning. We got Wilner Calaxet. Bonjour, chef là. Nah, my chef, man. My chef. C'est un homme qui chef là. C'est un homme qui chef là. Merci rapidement. And we got Wellington Joseph. Good to see you, man. Wellington Joseph is someone who's doing some really cool stuff in the social media space. His page, Artisan. Wellington, do me a favor. Go and share your page. I'll go ahead and repost it. He's impacting in a very similar lane as I am in terms of getting entrepreneurs and getting folks business-minded an opportunity to discuss what they're doing. And so Wellington, we're brothers at arms. Good to have you in the chat today. And you can do share your page so we can get some more folks to figure out see what you're doing. And of course, Wellington does it in Creole for the most part. Although I've seen a few episodes in English. So it's very good too. There you go. Apprentissage. Apprentissage. Okay, apprentissage. Like apprenticeship. Apprentissage. Voila. Right, there you go, guys. Just go ahead and put that on the page. You should be able to see it. You know, and go ahead and show Wellington some love. He's doing some really, really cool stuff out there. Very much appreciate anyone who's trying to improve the ROI, return on information, which is absolutely crucial. We got Eddie Jean. Eddie Jean with showing some love, man. I certainly appreciate it. Eddie Jean, thank you so much, man. You know, showing some love. $5 is going to go very far. It's being added to the war chest. So when we get back to Haiti, we can do much more impactful stuff. So many folks always want to see more of Haiti outside the country. I don't want to say the country, outside the city of Port-au-Prince. And to do that, I have a crew. And that crew needs hotels, food, when we're out of town. And so all that's being added to the war chest and to improve the quality of the stream. And in fact, I didn't even want to wait to start impacting. And that's one reason why we've changed the style. As you can guys see here, we have a slightly clearer, better image. I hope you guys let me know what you guys are seeing, so that whatever you provide, maybe 5, maybe whatever, certainly appreciated. And it is being used to improve what we're doing here on CGNT and Haiti Biz News. So again, Eddie Jean, salute to you. Thank you. Much appreciated. Okay. All right. So let's talk about it. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Before I do, let's see how, okay, we're looking pretty good on IG. Let me fix that up a little bit. Make it a little better for you, for the folks who are choosing to watch it on there. All right. There we go. You guys, boom. Much clearer, better image for my IG watchers right now. All right, perfect. All right, so first and foremost, Ronald Etienne from Queens, New York, in the house. Thank you, Ronald. Ronald, appreciate you, brother. Thanks for watching. Much appreciated. We are experiencing the reopening of the airports. Man, whoo-wee. It's been about time. I got to tell you. And of course, the very first question I'm sure folks are having, CGNT, when are you going to be back in country? I got to tell you, so my plane tickets already purchased. So that's number one. Understand that. My tickets already purchased. That's done. Right. I was looking to try to enter first week, obviously, on that first plane. But man, they're talking about, some of the prices I saw for some of these tickets were pushing like $400, $500, for that first week. I'm talking Spirit. I'm talking Eastern, right? American Airlines hasn't updated their flights yet. It's not posted, even though they announced yesterday that they're going to have flights July 7th. JetBlue hasn't had any flights updated just yet, though they are flying on the 28th, but in another date. I think, they were flying today, but I wasn't necessarily prepared yet to fly back. So I'm really looking at first week of July, and they didn't have anything just yet, though they did announce that July 1st, they're going to have, starting from July 1st, they're going to have flights. But even today, if you go right now, if you're watching it live and you go right now, they didn't have anything. I'm sure, maybe by the end of today or perhaps tomorrow will be the 29th or even the 30th, they'll have some flights listed. But at the time when I was looking, they didn't have it. I didn't want to wait. I wanted to book my flight. And so I'm actually going to be in Haiti the second week. So very, very excited, very, very happy about being able to get back and get back to work, if you guys know what I mean. Lots of stuff we had to put on the shelf. And even then, even when we get back, though, we have to move very differently, right? Because COVID's still a thing. And we're going to give the COVID numbers in Haiti in a second. So we're going to still be moving very differently. It's not going to be business as usual. You definitely will see when we're out on location doing events, we will have our masks on, believe me. So it's, mixed feelings, because again, I certainly feel as if Haiti honestly isn't ready to open up our borders. But I think Haiti is moving forward with the tone of what the world economies are trying to do, which is what? Reopen their economies, get things flowing, and in effect living with COVID. Living in the world where COVID is a thing, and folks just try to do the best precautions as possible. You wear a mask, you wash your hands, and unfortunately deal with the people. Some people getting sick and some people dying. Right? It's unsettling for sure, but I understand the other side of it. Because I know of a lot of Haitian diaspora who run businesses in Haiti, but who have not been able to get to the country. And a lot of investment has been stopped. A lot of activity has been stopped. Already, Haiti's been suffering with a very difficult economic situation, and COVID certainly has not helped, right? And so, en tout cas, I'm not the president. En tout cas, you décidez pour ouvrir airport. So it goes without saying, I'm gonna do my best, and I consult anyone, honestly, to be frank. If you don't have a reason to travel to Haiti, or travel period, honestly, stay home, right? Until the vaccine has been developed, until it's being distributed, I'd say do not change your behavior, right? If you have to be in the country, maybe be in the country. I have to be. I got business interests there, right? But if you're going just for fun, if you're going just for leisure, wait till next year, right? Because you may unknowingly be bringing in COVID to people who cannot afford the treatment, who may not be near hospitals, and even if they are, the hospitals may not have beds, right? You're adding stress to a system that really can't handle even a movement of tension, right? So certainly, if you don't have a reason to go to Haiti, please stay home, right? If you don't have business interests, if you have a critical family need, stay home. Don't get on that plane, right? That's my advice to you guys. Okay. So officially, I just want to just rattle off the news specifically to the airport. Sunrise Airways will be resuming flights from Port-au-Prince to San Domingo, July 3rd. JetBlue will be, as I mentioned, July 1st. They said they're going to have daily flights again. American Airlines said July 7th they're going to have daily flights again, right? And Spirit already is providing daily flights. So right now you can fly on Spirit. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually doing something I never thought in a million years I would do. And I am flying on Spirit. But to be fair, I chose the big seats, right? So I can feel somewhat of a human being on the Spirit Airlines, right? But they're the only ones that are charging around $100-ish. Everyone else at the time I was trying to book was charged $400+. And yeah, I dislike Spirit, but not to the tune of $300 to $400 extra. So we'll see if Spirit is as bad as they say it is, right? We shall see. Though I think I flew Spirit before once, and it was such a traumatic, bad experience. I blocked it out of my mind. So I think that's what happened. But I will tell you just how bad Spirit is when I'm back in country. For sure, and just FYI, just a heads up, we're not going to have Haiti Biz News that weekend. I come back to Haiti. That'll be around July 11, 12 that week. So I'm back that week, that following week, and I got a lot of stuff to take care of. And so just a heads up for sure, July 12th, we will not have Haiti Biz News. Just giving you a 2-week heads up. Next week, we still are. We're still going to push that. But for sure, that following weekend, there won't be a Haiti Biz News. So just heads up, folks. Just FYI, right? And of course, I'll re-announce it so for you folks aren't surprised or anything, right? So that's the news when it comes to the airports. Very excited, very happy. There's also FYI, there's some changes of policy that's going to be happening at the Port-au-Prince airport. They've added window panes at the at the attendants, right? The booking agents, right? The check-in agents, probably the better term. They had some windows there to protect you and them. In addition, they're going to change the lineup process to where they won't really allow people just to rush in and stand in line. The lineup process is going to start even outside the airport, every 6 feet, right? So expect lines to look a lot longer, even though it's the same amount of people. So they've changed that process to try to keep a bit more social distancing. At least they announced that. I'm not sure if they're going to actually hold up to it. They're going to say Haiti. Toute règle, toute loi pour nous bien fonctionner, ils existent, mais c'est nous-mêmes qui pas pratiquer yo. Right? To say it again, we have all the rules and regulations to be a very successful country, but we don't put anything into practice and we don't enforce them, right? So they have announced these rules. It'd be very helpful if they're actually followed. We'll see if they're actually followed, right? So that's the end of the airport story. All right. So let's take a look at the chat. We'll see what folks say. Ernest, good to see you, man. Happy to have you in the chat today. Happy to have you. Ma liberté financière, ça passe nous là, oui, en forme. Qui est là, poussé, sous bloc glace. Richté, nous sommes, says he loves the very intellectual and measured platform. Thank you so much. It's a welcome change to the usual salacious type channels. Binge watching, learning so much. Keep up the positivity. Rich T, thank you so much. That was exactly what I love reading, love to hear, because we really try to do something a little different here. Because I can tell you though, if I care just about subscriptions and eyeballs, I could do what every other Haitian person, every Haitian platform is doing here on the YouTubes, on the Facebooks. D'abord, ou parle créole, deuxième bail là, ou dit bêtises, troisième bail là, ou entre en branche politique, a fini, voilà, ou gagne 1000 moun qui a regardé, ou gagne 100 000 moun comme subscription, à venir poser bien content, right? But that's not the mission, right? If that was the mission, right, just to do it like that, right? I wouldn't be on here, right? That's just not me, right? I'm here to try to change things not only structurally in the country by what I'm doing, jobs I'm providing, but also helping impact and get other folks like-minded to connect with and impact. And I'm perfectly okay. I get a lot of these comments, see, Genty, can't believe, oh, you're doing some great stuff. Why you have so little views? See, Genty, why you have so few subs? That's cool. I'm going after quality, not quantity. I've connected with and been working with some very quality people here on the interwebs who have been doing some great work. I've encouraged a lot of their activities. They've encouraged me as well. And that's what I do it for. I do it for the quality folks who exist online, who are trying to really understand Haiti and impact. I'm not doing it for the eyeballs. I'm not doing it for the couch surfers, the guys just looking for raw entertainment. They got TikTok for that. They got Snapchat for that, right? We're here to connect with quality folks. And again, so Rich T, thank you. You are certainly part of that very small amount of quality people that exist. And that's why my numbers represent that. Every single subscription you see on YouTube, see Genty, that is a quality number. And I like that. we know this. We live in the real world, right? And we know in the real world, there's not too many quality people, right? So my numbers reflect that. I'm A-okay with that. So thank you. Thank you, Rich T. Appreciate it. Watt Mini, always appreciate it. Good morning, Watt Mini. Someone I appreciate very much. Doesn't have to give a thing. Watt Mini is always commenting, always providing ideas, always providing his or her perspective on the content. So Watt Mini, you never have to give $1. your engagement, your consistent engagement is always appreciated. Well, I mean, just want to tell you that personally. But nonetheless, thank you so much for the donation there. Of course, that's going to the reward chest to provide better and gooder content. So thank you so much, Mini. Certainly appreciate it. Molina Jean-Louis, very cool. He says, will the Haitian government still hold on to your passport when you arrive? I remember that was one of your initial concerns. Also, we have to self-quarantine for 2 weeks. Great questions. Thanks for asking that, Molina. So no, right? No on the passport question. That the customs, the minister, the director of customs said that's not going to happen. And even though the prime minister was saying that for some reason, even in his most recent one, but that's not going to happen. And secondly, there is no quarantine. There is obviously, if you, I think they are going to, I believe they're going to be trying to do temperature. I've heard some rumors they're going to try to be doing some temperature checks. And if you do found to have higher temperature, they are going to recommend that you quarantine where you're going. But there isn't a hard quarantine requirement, even though most flights are going to be coming out of South Florida. As we know, South Florida is experiencing a massive uptick of COVID, but there isn't any requirements for quarantine as of right now. So no requirements. Anyone and everyone come in the country, right? Which again, why have mixed feelings, right? If anyone can come in the country, right, then that's very problematic, given that the world is still experiencing spikes of COVID. But as it stands right now, no passport, no requirements whatsoever. You don't have to show that you're COVID negative, nothing. You just buy your plane ticket, you follow the regulations of the airlines, i.e. you wear your mask, right? And then that's it. That's it, right? Wellington says, we need back at it again merch. Folks have been asking about that, actually. You know, I'm kind of in the works, kind of thinking about that. In fact, I just recently started tinkering with the C Genty logo, which is going to certainly be a first part of doing any merch. So I don't know, it's in the works. It's in the works, thinking about that. Certainly before the end of the year, I think if I do it, it will be out before the end of the year. So thanks for that, Wellington. Ernest Nicholas, $1.99. You know, I appreciate that. You know, any amount counts. It may be 99, $1.99, 199. It's all the same. It's all being added to the war chest. Ernest Nichols, thank you so much. Another guy who doesn't even provide. He's always on the episodes, always commenting. Either way, much appreciated. Thank you so much, Ernest. It's added to the war chest to produce better content. Thank you so much, brother. Shani Mill, good morning. Good to see you. Wellington, always looking to support. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's on the to-do list. I promise. Marie-Jean Ewood, bonsoir. Bonsoir. Bonjour. Bonjour. 11h40. Bonsoir. Marie says, no, you're taking your temperature since February when I last flew in. Okay, they're still taking temperatures. That's good. That's good. All right. I hope they still are. I'm sure they still will be. Right. All right. So let's keep moving. COVID cases in Haiti. We got 4,900 active cases, right? We got 98 deaths thus far, 641 healed, 136 people hospitalized, right? And we have estimated 3,139 people in quarantine. These numbers are as of yesterday, right? DR, Dominican Republic, got to talk about DR. We share the island, right? So many Haitians go back and forth. In fact, we had numbers in somewhere around 17,000 Haitians from the DR self-deported back in Haiti. So again, we got to talk about DR numbers here. We got 12,695 active cases, 712 deaths. We got 2,869 hospitalized, and 193 people in ICU, right? And so the numbers have still, though they slowed down in DR, they're still very high, much higher than Haiti. But of course, Haiti outside of DR is the most infected, unfortunately. And so it's certainly, you know, we have not seen, though we've seen a slight slowdown in the overall decrease of active cases, it's really because we've been able to quantify and remove a certain amount of people from active, right? For example, I just mentioned that we had 641 healed. Remember last week we only had like 20 or 30 people healed. So we've removed a lot of the folks who are in an active case pool into the healed pool, right? Which is you know, folks do heal from this, right? But of course we also saw a spike in deaths, right? I think last we spoke we were at somewhere around 60 to 70. Now we're 2 away from being at 100 deaths, right? So you know it's still something we got to take serious. And as always, what I always mention to you guys, if you have any friends, any family in Haiti, I do need you to contact them, call them, hound them, be that nagging wife, right? Be that annoying mother, right? Be that overzealous cousin who calls, every other day to say, hey, you doing what you're doing? Are you washing your hands? Are you wearing your mask? Help facilitate them. If you don't have masks, see what you can do to get them masks. There's a lot of folks you can ask me how to get them masks, and I can tell you, for example, those companies we've highlighted on Cgenti, for example, Aize de Rose. I bought a box full of masks for my employees in Haiti, right? And you can as well. They home deliver, and they're selling them only for $1.50 a mask, right? And so there are ways to help your friends and family in Haiti to get them material to protect them, right? So just don't sit on your hands. If you have folks in Haiti, see what you can do. Contact me, and I can put you in contact with companies and entities that are doing important work. For example, we know a hand sanitizer company in Haiti is producing hand sanitizer gel in the country, and they are taking orders, right? We talk about them. I'm sure she'll be on a little later. Sanpur and Dr. King brand of hand sanitizer being 100% produced in country, right? And so again, you don't have to feel as if you're powerless, as if you're inactive. You can engage and be a part, or at least the people you're connected to and connected with, right? Let's take a look at IG, make sure I haven't missed any comments. Dexter the Motivator, what's up, man? Good to see you. Happy to have you, brother. It says, let's link up. We'll be in Haiti on the 2nd. I'm not sure how long you're going to be out there, Dexter, but for sure, I'll be there second week. And so certainly let's make it happen, Dexter. Let's connect. No problem. Right. Now let's keep it moving. Right. Lots of other stories to talk about. For example, 70,000 masks. 70,000 masks were distributed by the government. I remember the government had around 10 million masks produced to be distributed, and they've been distributed throughout. Most recently as last week, we saw that they were able to distribute 70,000 masks across 11 public markets in the Port-au-Prince area. Right, again, 70,000. That's a big number. In addition, they pass out sanitary kits, soap, chlorine, hand sanitizer. They've been doing quite a bit of work to get, because as we know, one of the best ways to sort of prevent the spread of COVID is masks, right? If you're wearing a mask and the person you're talking to is wearing a mask, the chance of spread is 1.5%, right? If you're just wearing a mask and the other person is not, then the chance of spread is about 35%. If no one's wearing a mask, the chance of spread is somewhere around 95%, right? So you can see from 95 to 35, that's a big jump just by one person wearing a mask. If both people are wearing masks, we're looking at 1.5% spread, and that's if they are infected, right? So again, can't stress it enough. It doesn't even matter what type of mask, by the way, right? So long as there is a mask, the chance of spread is so much lower, right? So 70,000 masks distributed across 11 public markets. That's impactful, right? That's impactful. So Marie Charles Wood follows up here on Facebook, says someone may have asked this question already, but however, how and where are these numbers of COVID cases being reported from? Sure, no problem. These numbers are coming from the Minister of Public Santé et Publique and Population, excuse me. That's basically the health department for Haiti. It's a government department. They get these numbers by hospitals reporting, right? Hospitals are instructed to report when someone has been found to either have symptoms or, and certainly tested COVID positive. They report those numbers to the Minister of Santé Publique. And there are many controversial issues about the U.S. by reporting numbers. So yeah, so that's they follow the same guidelines as every other country, right? If the person is tested or has the symptoms, they have COVID, right? And the symptoms are obvious symptoms: heavy fever, right? That cough that everyone has recognized to be part of COVID, right? And of course, now, especially since a lot of we're getting actual test kits are being distributed countrywide, they're fortifying these numbers by testing folks who have these symptoms. And of course, anyone who dies and who may have had symptoms as well, they're counted under COVID. The way they're counting it still in that sort of loose style that a lot of other countries are doing it, right? It doesn't matter if the person had a heart attack, if they had COVID, during autopsy or before, they're counted as having COVID. I mean, there's been rare instances where there have been car accidents. This is America now. This is in America. There have instances where folks have got into car accidents, but because the person was COVID positive, they're counted as a COVID death. This is real. It's happened. Despite the fact that it was the car accident that killed them, right? So go figure, right? Go figure, right? But yeah, so that's I hope that answers your question, Molly. So next up, the prisons. You know that if you've been following the episodes here at GC Genty, you know that one of the certain big issues that I've really affected me, honestly, really affected me, has been the condition of prisoners in the country. And of course, folks are very quick and easy to toss people who are in jail into ravet status, non-human being status. But when you understand in Haiti in particular, right? In particular in Haiti, over 80 to 90% of the folks who are in jail, they're in jail because a lot of you guys are 3-4 years in jail and they've never had due process, meaning they've never seen a judge. They've never had their court heard, right? They've never appeared in court. They've never been tried and convicted. Now, if you're convicted, pitié moi descend beaucoup, right? Because you've done armed robbery, murder, things that really affect kidnapping, rape. Obviously, but a lot of these folks are just poor, the poorest of the poor in Haiti, who have been rounded up and stuck in a very compact prison. I mean, all you got to do is type in Haiti prisons on YouTube. You'll see what I mean. When you'll get a documentary that comes up that really shows the very inhumane conditions so many Haitians live in these prison systems. And again, when you understand that 80 to 90% of these guys, 3 or 4 years in jail, never seen due process, never seen a lawyer, never seen a judge, right? It's something that's wrong fundamentally. And it's particularly in time right now, we're talking about Black Lives Matter, we're talking about police brutality, we're talking about judicial systems that are stacked against minorities and Black people, especially, when we go to a Black country like Haiti, and you see that it's the same but worse. And that really sits with me. It really messes up my soul. I don't know about you guys. It messes up my soul for sure. So the update here is that President King Moise, has pardoned 432 people in the prison system. King Moise has done this, right? The criteria to be pardoned, I'm gonna read them to you. Some of these criteria includes anyone who's served at least 60% of their sentence. Okay. Folks who have been in pre-trial detention for 5 years for crimes other than kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, trafficking of drugs for people, right? So anything else they may have done, if they're in pre-trial for more than 5 years, released, right? Again, this is folks who've never seen a judge, and it's a lot. You'd be surprised. It's a lot of people, right, who've never seen a judge, who've never seen a lawyer, who just sitting in court, right? Sitting in prison, right? And anyone else, for example, we see other folks, for example, who've been in pre-trial detention for a year simply for criminal association, right? There's laws on the books in Haiti. If you were, for example, the driver of the getaway car, just as an example, right? They're released, right? Other folks, who have minor offenses and who've been sitting in jail for 6 months, have not, seen a judge or a lawyer, they're released, right? And any minor in jail for whatever amount of time, they are released, right? So, remember, I said it for a long time. We're gonna see the type of person President Moise is now, right? At this point in time, when he has decree powers, he's the king of Haiti. He can do anything he wants. We're gonna see the type of human being he is, because up until this point, in January, he hasn't been able to do a fraction of the things he could have wanted to do, because you had an opposition who wanted to do nothing but get him out of power, period. Right? The fact that he was elected democratically, the fact that they could choose to do constitutionally what they have the power to do. Because remember, We talked about this a lot of times here on CGNT. The Haitian Constitution is what? It is a parliamentary constitution, meaning what? All the power is in Parliament. The president really has, outside of this decree period, really has no power. He's very much a figurehead by design. Remember, 1987, the Constitution was created after the Duvalier regime. The writers of the Constitution did not want another dictator. They made the executive branch very much a figurehead, to the point where they don't even run their cabinet day to day. The cabinet is run by the prime minister, who is wholly dependent upon the parliament. Remember, prime ministers are in effect heads of parliament. They report to parliament daily. They can be kicked out very quickly by a vote of no confidence by parliament, right? It is a parliamentary system. Parliament can function without a president. But yet, you pass in they make you think they're getting paid the highest salary. Understand this. I want folks to understand this who are watching. The Haitian parliamentary is the highest paid parliamentary in the Caribbean. I'm gonna say that again. Maybe you didn't hear me. I want a guy in the back to hear me. Haiti, you know the slogan. It's the slogan of Haiti, poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Yeah, we get it, right? But yet, we had the highest paying parliamentary in the Caribbean, right? And they stick to a byline. They refuse to do their work that the Constitution gives them, the power that the Constitution gives them to pass laws, to modernize, pass laws, to enforce, to get the country on the right track. They refuse to do it. They spend 100% of their time blaming a figurehead position in the presidency. I want to always, every episode, I always want to spend some time to make sure the folks who are watching understand this, right? And I've said for a long time, right? If President Jovenel survived paylock, and he did, grâce à United Nations, grâce à United States, because he's voted against Venezuela, he's voted against China investing in the country. A lot of things that could help us, but Papa Sam didn't want us to be a part of. Jovenel said, "Yes, sir, no problem, sir. Whatever you want, sir." But you know what? It's helped him stay in power, because every sector of Haitian society wanted him out. He survived. He's still here, right? And on top of that, he's going to add an additional year to his term, right? I've never even presented the fact that there's been a lot of debate in the country about when his term actually ends. There's been a lot of ambiguousness in when the term actually ends. I haven't gotten to debate. I won't get into it even today, but understand a lot of people saying that his term actually should end on 2021 February, but nonetheless, he's going to keep going until February 2022. I'll spare you the debate, but I actually agree that he should stay around to 2022. But again, that's something else. Maybe I'll enter that at some point, or probably I'll make a CGNT Anupale about it when I'm back in the country, to really dive into the situation in more depth. But in any case, we were going to find out what type of person he is, right? Now that he doesn't have a opposition parliament who doesn't want to do their work. And we're seeing, as we saw last week, he passed very important updates to the commercial code, right? And right now we're seeing, in addition to a few other things, he's cracking down on illegals in the country, right? He's trying to push a single national identification number in the country. He's pushing that people will get identification numbers at birth. Right now, identification numbers only are given around 16, 17, 18 years old, right? Pushing that. These are all very important modern things that need to be done in the country. And now he's done something that I've been talking for weeks now. The system, the prison system, that's been just unfair. He's pardoned quite amount of people who have been stuck in the system right now and in unsafe conditions. The COVID has been running amok in the prison system, unsurprisingly, as it is in other countries, but certainly not surprising. It's also running amok in Haiti. And so that's, say what you want. Remember, we're for good governance here in the country. Whoever's doing it, we're for good governance. And you can very easily cite as many negative things as you can, and I'll side it with you about what PhD King Moise has done, may be doing. But two, I'm also bringing the good that's being done, and this is a very good thing that we're having prisoners who have just inhumanely been in pre-detention trial without seeing a judge, although you're being released, rightly so, right? So that's the update. Let me take a look, see what folks are saying. Amari Charles Haywood says, hey, yeah, in the U.S., some people are saying hospitals are being paid to label patients with COVID. You made the statements about a person in the car accident. Well, it's not necessarily being paid. They're certainly incentivized inappropriately, because the more the hospital has treated COVID cases, this in America, the more money they may get from the federal government to help sustain their operations. And so there's obviously a bit of incentive to have more COVID case numbers because of that, right? As the economist, I can tell you people are simply reactionary entities based on the incentives in place. And so if you want people to do good, you put good incentives. You want people to do bad, you inappropriately put the wrong incentives in place, and people will do bad more often, right? And so that is, Joe would be very clear when you say people are being paid. It's, that's the federal system right now set up. There are more incentives for hospitals who have higher numbers than not. And when you have those sort of incentives, obviously, hospitals will probably count more COVID cases than not. But still, we say this, Amali, but understand that there's studies coming out right now that says even the numbers we're reporting, even right now, the real numbers of people who are positive with COVID, the numbers are probably 10 times that, right? So there's a lot of folks who have not been tested, a lot of folks who have gotten it and moved on, a lot of asymptomatic people, a lot of people who have died and potentially weren't tested, right? And so in actuality, we can be tongue in cheek and say, oh, well, the hospitals are, blowing it up because they're being paid. But the reality is we're actually, all the indication right now seems to be we actually have a lot more COVID cases around the world than actually is being reported, right? So for what it's worth, don't take my word for it, Google it right now, underreporting of COVID cases. And that's actually where we are right now, right? This is, again, a very contagious virus that, it just can linger in the air and you can spread it, right? So it makes sense that a lot more people would get it, right? Especially now when folks aren't listening, right? Lawrence Gonzalez, good to see you, brother. Happy to have you today. Make sure you follow Lawrence Gonzalez. He has a page, The Neighborhood Finance Guy. I believe I'm saying it right. Lawrence, feel free to drop your channel, get some folks to follow. He's doing some really interesting stuff, educating folks on personal finance, personal responsibility, particularly when it comes to their pocketbooks, because you can't help Haiti if you can't help yourself, right? If you're struggling under debt, if you're not saving, if you're not putting yourself in a position to own land, to potentially pass wealth to your family, to your kids, how can you ever help Haiti, right? You got to be able to help yourself first, right? And so folks like Lawrence are doing the unsung important work of getting our people ready for the next step. And so I do encourage you guys to follow The Neighborhood Finance Guy. Just put that in one word on Instagram and drop some real great content. Lawrence says, that's dope, King Moise. I think he's responding to the fact that the prisoners are being released. Philly Dom's in the house. Hated to the world. What's up, Philly Dom? Philly Dom is someone you guys got to make sure you guys follow. He's someone right now in Haiti dropping daily videos on what's going on. He's just a guy he has a phone and he's just giving it to you raw, uncut, unedited, with no angle. He's just giving it to you the way it is, right? And actually he's showing you that Haiti isn't what you think it is, right? And just by him just telling the truth, just hitting that record button and just moving around the city and his activities, right? Philly Dom, so certainly someone you want to follow, make sure you do. Dropped a real interesting video the other day where he actually interviewed Sony Raymond. You remember the guy we talked about last week? He was the Haitian American who was saying, he's never been to Haiti. He's not even Haitian. Da 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 da. Philly Dom actually went over to the DCPG detention center where he was being held and interviewed the guy. This is Philly Dom. This is what Philly does, right? So again, if you want to, see a lot of what Philly's been doing, in addition to that, a very interesting video. You have what, 50K views on that video right now, Philly? Do check out Philly Dom. Great work. We got Wansley Pierre saying, well, he's a sick person. He ain't doing nothing for the Haitian people but himself. Okay, I think he's talking about the King Moise. Listen, that's a fair statement. I'm not here to debate you one way or the other. You can certainly believe that. But as always, I do always want to encourage people, no matter how you feel about a particular political party or person, you always look at what the person is doing, right? Highlight the bad, but also do recognize what good that may be doing, and then weigh it appropriately, right? Right? We got to do things a little more, big picture, right? But you're certainly entitled to that opinion. And then certainly Jovenel has done a lot of things to give you that opinion, right? So Solomon Johnson says he likes the topics. It's good to read. Mini 99 says, King Moise must be watching your channel because you spoke about the prison system last week. You know what? I hope he isn't, because I still talk a lot of shit about the Haitian government and how things are set up. So actually, I'm still under the radar. To be quite honest with you, politics, talking, even my very intellectual, common sense approach of politics can still be very dangerous because you know how it is, even here in America, how it is. But I hope not, right? Ernest Nicole talking to Philly. All right, so let's keep it moving. The next news story has to do with Emmanuel Toto Constant. He was finally deported. And he was immediately arrested. And for those who don't know who Emmanuel Toto Constant is, he's a former, honestly, warlord. There's no other word for it. He was a terrorist who was going after any supporter of Jean-Bertrand Aristide. He's responsible for around 3,000 murders, in addition to other things, including kidnapping, rape, extortion, drug trafficking. I mean, you name it. I mean, this guy, you talk about a devil. I mean, this guy was genuinely a devil. By all accounts, he was a CIA operative. He's said that. People have confirmed that. And one reason why they believe he was being protected for so long and not being deported out to Haiti until today, until now, because Trump. See, that's the one thing you have to be clear. I'm not voting for Trump. Okay, let's be clear. Trump is terrible, but I tell you what, Trump gives no fucks. Excuse my language. Excuse me. I think it's the first time I ever said that word, but he gives no F's. Okay, and he has said, we don't want him here, and he's just sent him out. So love or hate Trump, he doesn't care, and he's just sent him out. And right now he finally has made it to Haiti. He was immediately arrested. And right now he is going to be he's in trial, right? He's in pre-trial. He saw a judge earlier this week, and they are going to pursue a retrial. Though, because to be fair, he was already tried, and he was found to be guilty, but then the Supreme Court threw it out because of, I'm not sure which technicality, but it was thrown out. So they are going to retry him. Hopefully, not do any technicalities, so this guy can actually get, there can actually be justice be served at least once in Haiti. We can have a genuine, high-profile mission, tried and stuck in jail and let that person rot. Right? It's people like that who should be in jail for as long as it needs to be, not people who I mentioned before. Right? So Emmanuel Toto Constant, the terrorist, the warlord, the person who has over 3,000 murders to his name, is down in the country in jail, looking to be tried. Right? So that is actually good news for the rule of law in the country, and we hope to see justice be served. Right? We got Wensley Pierre. Thank you so much, brother. $2 to the war chest. Thank you so much. Maybe $2, $20, $200, whatever it may be. It's all added and summed together, and it's going to be used to create better content once we're in country and have that capacity. So thank you so much, Wensley. Certainly appreciate it. And for all those who may be looking at their pockets right now, listen, I get it. What you can do is that can be almost as important, just as impactful. Share the stream. Share. We got a couple. We're pushing 45 folks right now all together from my different platforms, from IG, Facebook, YouTube. So, but let's get some more folks in. Let's see if we can push 60 people on the live. The highest I've seen it has been 50. Let's see if we can get 60 today. If each of you guys who are watching right now share the stream, start a watch party, right? We might be able to get 60 people here, and that's 60 people concurrent watching who is impacting the ROI, return on information, right? Because the more knowledgeable we are as a group of people, the better decisions and way forward we will have to impact, right? So international aid, right? Pope has donated 27 respirators to Latin America, right? Specifically, we have 4 going to Haiti. And of course, over the past few weeks, I've reported the millions upon millions of dollars that have been provided to Haiti for COVID response. In fact, it has been generally a saving grace for the Joe Biden administration, because a lot of for international aid was not going to be dispersed to him, for the simple fact that we don't have a parliament right now. We don't have a parliament, and certain things need to be ratified. But COVID has kind of forced a lot of major players, IDB, World Bank, European Union, United States, USAID, all of them have provided money to help Haiti support the fight against its COVID cases. I certainly hope I'm looking very closely for any evidence of where that money is going. Let's leave it like that, right? Because as we know, the Haitian government has proven that trust in what they're doing is certainly very little. If you get what I'm going at, if you get my grift, Petro Caribe, Petro Caribe. Excuse me, that's out of my throat there. So certainly we do hope that all the money is going where it's going, but it certainly has been a very big boost to the very low budget of the Haitian state. As we know, given the paid lock and other things, the revenue has been very low, and so this money has gone to bolstering the capacity. Again, a lot of it should be going to COVID, but certainly we'll see in about a year or two when numbers come in, just how much actually went to where. Those who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about, right? Demon, gemon, as they say, right? So let's take a see what folks saying in the chat. Wednesday says, no, you don't do politics, but trust me, he will be released. Why rural Nelson at the airport for his release? So that's what we'll see. We'll see. And if he does get released, certainly that will be. I will be very rarely political if that happens, right? But let's see what happens. Those who are watching on Instagram right now have a 1 hour cap. You haven't given me a blue check yet. None of you guys are not enough followers on there yet. So the IG is going to end. I'm going to reboot it up. Don't worry about it. Come right back in. We'll keep on the discussion. All right. And so let's talk about Sarah Sand. The very next news story has to do with Sarah Sand. There's been a massive amount of dust in Haiti the past week. It's been very unfortunate. It's affected a lot of activities. The Sahara sand is something that is very dangerous. It has a lot of microbes, a lot of bacteria, a lot of heavy metals. It's very thick. It's very bad for your lungs. And I got to tell you, living in Haiti, when I first heard the story, I'm like, okay, how is this any different from what we're used to in Haiti? Because anyone who's been to Haiti knows there's a lot of dust. A lot of unpaved roads, a lot of dirt that's kicked up into the atmosphere, into the road. So I'm like, how is this any different? But when you see the photos and the imagery that a lot of folks were posting about how literally you can't even see the sky. So, oh yeah, this is different. We don't have this level of dust in the country. And of course, this is foreign bacteria, foreign stuff coming from Africa and coming through the very wide ocean. And so certainly it's something that we have to be very mindful of. It's already gone. It was there for about 3 days, from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I believe. And in fact, if you're in South Florida, if you're in the southern hemisphere of America right now, actually you should be experiencing right now. In fact, let me take a look at my window. I don't really see anything, but I haven't really stepped out either. But if you are in South Florida watching this, do make it a point today. I mean, you should already be wearing your mask because of COVID, but certainly wear your mask because of the Sahara sand. It was very interesting just to talk about it. What makes this so unique? It's in 50 years we haven't seen. It happens every year, by the way, but we haven't seen this amount of Sahara sand, this low, this thick, in over 50 years, right? And I mean, there's some benefits to this given the fact that, by the way, this is very helpful for the underwater ecosystem. There's a lot of very important nutrients that are tapped in that sand, that a lot of phytoplankton organisms that are the very baseline of the ecosystem feed on, right? That's number one. And number two, that cloud, I mean, it is visible from space, actually keeps the waters a little bit cooler, right? It keeps the water, that same space where hurricanes usually form, just a little bit cooler. And that coolness of water actually possibly may mean a less intense hurricane season, right? And Lord knows, usually Haiti gets at least one or two of these storms that pass over and does a digga and does a lot of negative stuff. And so any chance of less hurricanes and less digga and less potential for disaster, the better, right? So that's certainly a bit of a good news. But we do have to be mindful. The Sahara sand, it's going to be dispersed in waves, right? There's talks about there's going to be another wave in another week or two. So certainly we're not out the waters just yet, but certainly it won't be as bad as potentially it could be for the health of people perspective, given that so many people are already wearing masks because of COVID, right? So let's keep it moving. As folks are streaming back into IG, welcome, folks, welcome. Had to reboot the live because of the hour cap, right? So next news story has to do with banks, right? Banks have been, by the way, for something you guys have to know, despite Haiti being labeled as the poorest in the hemisphere, the crap that they like to always append to us like a tattoo. Something you got to know: Haitian banks are actually the most profitable in the whole Caribbean. That's something folks are kind of shocked when I tell them this. Haitian banks, from a profit perspective, profit margin as a percentage, right? Haitian banks are the most profitable in the Caribbean. Okay, and you can ask yourself why. Well, here's one reason. In addition to, I've actually tried to get a loan, and I've seen that, like for example, a car loan, 30% interest. So that's incredible. The fact that they do they don't do mortgage or anything, but they do allow you to borrow money very briefly for very small windows for insane interest. Basically, what check cashing stores have been doing in America recently, these Haitian banks have been doing for a long time. They've been, charging these rates and regulation. What's that? There's no regulation on what they charge or anything. En tout cas, in addition to their incredible interest rates that they charge, which is why, again, a lot of people, before I get into that news story, a lot of people reach out to me, they get angry because the Haitian diaspora can't tap into Haitian banks. And I'm like, you don't want to tap into the Haitian bank system. Believe me, right? I always advise folks, if you're looking to get funding, if you're a U.S. citizen or Canadian citizen, I mean, there's ways to get money, unsecured loans, secured loans, right? That you can use to do whatever you want, including investment, including buying land, including buying property, buying cars. That will be exponentially cheaper than going to a Haitian bank, right? I advise you to work on your credit, make sure your credit is solid. If you're American, have a solid FICO score, and don't honestly. The day Haitian banks open up to the Haitian diaspora, I still would advise you not to go to Haitian bank, right? Because their interest rates and how they function is insane, right? The interest rates, for example, a car loan right now in America, we know 3%. I just told you it would be 30% in Haiti. That's I hit that fool, as they say. In any case, let's get back to the news story. The news story is that Haitian banks have been making an incredible amount of money through the depreciating currency. As we know, the Haitian good we're looking at Haitian good is looking at 112 good for a dollar. Incredible, right? Just a month ago, 2 months ago, the Haitian good crossed over into 100 good for a dollar, and now we're talking about 112. And honestly, by the end of next month, I would not be surprised if we were pushing 120, right? But right now it's 112. But that doesn't matter, because Haitian banks have been making buku money through foreign currency exchange. They buy the dollar with a certain amount of good. They wait a little bit and they sell that dollar back and make money on the difference, right? Cumulatively from June 1st to the 5th, this is only a week now, right? June 1st to the 5th, Haitian banks have made 81,041,405 good for that week. And if we want to look at how much is that really, Chris, talk to me. What are we talking about in dollars? They made $723,000 in that 1 week period, right? Wow. 1 week. We're talking about 1 week now, right? And from May 25th to May 29th, this is the week before, right? They made $603,000 in profit by simply trading currency. Now you may be saying, what are you talking about? What's the problem here? What's the problem? They're making money. So what? That's what they're doing. What they're supposed to do. Understand something, my peoples. Understand something. The way they're making this money, they're contributing to the devaluation of the currency. How is that? Here's how. They're buying dollars, holding on to it, and then reselling, right? By profiting on the direction of the currency, they're simultaneously causing that direction in the first place. Let me give you another example. When somebody buys stock, right? Because there's good fundamental news for why you should buy that stock. For example, that stock is showing big profits. If you're supposed to go up by $1 because of the good news, inherent good news, when you have a bunch of other people decide to also buy it, it goes up by $5 just because of the demand, the perception of the demand. It goes higher, right? The perceived value and the action of people buying that stock drives it even higher. Follow me so far? I think most folks who follow me, they have some business sense, business acumen, right? You don't have to be a stock trader to know that, right? When you act on the financial market, right, your actions amplify what's going on, right? On the flip side, I think we've been following for the past few weeks, especially in America, the stock market has been going down. Why? There's been a sort of amplifying effect of folks taking their money out the market, right? And by doing that, yes, there might be fundamental issues wrong with the market, but then as more and more people do that, you amplify the negative downturn, right? You make it worse when thousands and hundreds of thousands of people behave in a particular way. You make the situation worse, right? Now, each person may be acting rationally, right? But on whole, you're making the situation much worse for everyone involved, including yourself, right? So finally, let me bring it home to the banks. They may be acting rationally. If you were a shareholder of these particular banks, you would even advise them to do that, make some money off the directional, where we know how we know the currency is going to move. In fact, probably want to even hedge yourself to make sure that you're not in a position where you're holding a lot of currency in good and is being devalued. You want to keep your currency in dollars. And I'll be honest with you, any money I have in Haiti in banks, they're held in dollars because, I'd be crazy to keep it in good, given that the direction of the good is going down incredibly fast, right? So low key, guys, I'll be honest with you. I call a spade a spade. I'll raise my hand. I'm part of the problem too, given the fact that if I get any money, any substantial amount of money in good, I immediately put it in dollars. I'm contributing me, Jancy, who knows better. I'm contributing to the devaluation of the currency. But understand, I have to behave rationally in a particular way, right? Because it will be insane to keep my, whatever. If I have $100 worth of good, it will be insane to keep it in good. Absolutely insane, because that $100 in a week, it's going to be worth $90. In another week, it'll be worth $80, right? I'm losing value by keeping it in good, right? But I'm contributing to the negative situation of the good in the first place by having to switch it over, right? And the banks, I just want to make sure folks understand that the banks are doing the same thing. They may be acting rationally. I'm not trying to make these banks seem like as if they're total bad guys, right? But more than anyone, they have power and leverage to really impact, the drive of the currency. Right now, BRH, these figures are coming from the BRH, the Central Bank of Haiti. They're releasing these, and they're releasing these specifically to say, hey, these guys are doing this. You guys should know. But you're the central bank. You can put restrictions on this behavior, right? You can't. You can literally, as a central bank, say, you know what? You guys need to stop that. You guys need to keep a certain amount of money in good, period, right? Or you're not allowed. You can only trade, trade currency up to a certain amount, right? So I feel it's incredibly childish and immature for a central bank to be saying, just putting out this tea, but then not acting on what needs to be done. But to be fair and to take a step back, the reality is what? The reality is this. You can do all, let's say today, everyone wakes up in Haiti and says, you know what, we're going to keep our money in good. Even me. Yeah, I said, you know what, I'm going to keep my money in good. The banks, not only do they not do what they're doing, but they also start trading in the opposite direction, which would be very bad for them. They'd actually be losing money, right? Meaning that they're actually buying good, right, to hold on to, right? So they try to get, say, imagine they get influx of dollars and they just convert them to good, right? So imagine if every person and every entity in Haiti actually behaved appropriately with the foreign, when it comes to foreign exchange, and kept their money in good, right? It wouldn't do a thing, right? It wouldn't do a thing. It wouldn't change. Well, it could change the rate. Say if the rate of currency devaluation is going at a rate of, let's say, 5 to 6%, right? It could have it, right? It could have it to maybe 3.5% or something like that. It could have it, or just above half, but it would still be negative. Why? You know why, guys. Come on. Do I have to say it? Do I have to say it? Haiti doesn't produce anything. Haiti doesn't export anything, right? I mean, our biggest export is textiles, right? After that, I think mangoes might be the second, or the first vetiver is up there. Mangoes are up there. And that's really it, right? We don't export anything, right? We have no agricultural sector. And worst part of it too, we import everything, right? Everything's imported. We export nothing, right? And every Haitian person I know of, they want to come to Haiti and they want to make some doom. They want to, load up a car with crap, load up a big doom of stuff and resell, right? No Haitian entrepreneur is thinking, how can I leverage Haiti's resources on the international market, right? So you guys are a part of it too. Don't put on the government, right? You as the individual actor looking to engage in Haiti, you're not thinking of the right businesses to open and impact. You can still make money, lots of money, right? Boundless money, right? Because the Haitian economy is very small. The international economy is very large. It just makes common sense. It's a lack of imagination. A lot of our Haitian folks who do come with ideas. Everyone wants to open a restaurant. Everyone wants to open up a bar resto. Everyone Everyone wants to open up a little hotel, right? But no one's thinking, how can I produce things? How can I create a distribution? How can I create a manufacturer, right? How can I leverage, for example, cocoa beans and do like Ascania chocolates, right? And sell very quality premium Haitian chocolate across the world, for example, just one out of many examples I could probably cite, right? And so that is the situation. The situation is, even if we could do everything we're supposed to, and from a financial market perspective, Haiti would still have a devaluating currency because Haiti doesn't produce anything, right? And of course, I just spent some time blaming us, blaming you, but the honest fact is it's the government, right? The honest fact is it's the government. I mean, just look at the budget they put together last week. We talked about it last week. They put a budget together. We understand that, you know, they've reduced, they've had less money, right, to work with. But when you look at as a percentage of that budget, right, as a percentage of that budget, the agricultural section went down significantly by somewhere around 5 to 10%. You can say that, you can see that they don't have the right priorities in place. They don't have the right priorities in place. Right? As a percentage of the budget, what they should be putting for agriculture has gone down. Come on, you see, and you wonder why we have a depreciating currency. But in any case, the news story is just about the fact that we have banks who are profiting and making money off of a very disastrous situation in the country, right? And the biggest profiteers, Unibank in first place, Sojibank in second place, Capital Bank third place, right? Those are the three biggest banks making the biggest amount of money in a depreciated currency, right? So God bless them. There's a little Catholic cross, right? They're making money. If you're a shareholder of any of these banks, great. Good for you. But one of the reasons why we are experiencing such drastic and quick depreciation of currency is because we have banks who are betting against the currency and winning and contributing to the quickness of how quickly the currency is devaluating. All right. So FYI, if you didn't know, now you know, right? Of course, if you appreciate these sort of conversations, appreciate these sort of this candor, this analysis, make sure you share the stream. This is what we talk about. No one else is talking about this, the economic rationality of what's going on in the country and how different players are affecting that economic condition. So make sure, if you appreciate what we got going on here, these topics, share the stream. Let's get some more folks in here. Let's add to that diversity of thought. All right. Nate, good to see you, Nate. I share Hooked on Haiti. Make sure type in Hooked on Haiti on your Facebook. He has an incredible page doing some incredible work, trying to show a different side of the country. Nate is a brother in arms when it comes to the mission of empowering folks across the board, Haitian diaspora, not to know that Haiti is a lot more than what CNN and Fox News has time to tell you about, right? So Nate, certainly appreciate it. Nate says, very informative episode as always. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Nate follows up, says, unfortunately, Haiti's biggest export are Haitians themselves. Very true. Very true. The biggest exporter actually are the Haitian bodies. And it's very, very sinister, very dark, very scary to even say it. But certainly, you're right. Haiti's biggest import are Black bodies to work and to be mistreated in the countries they go to, maybe in Chile, maybe in Brazil, maybe in Mexico. Most recently, Bahamas. Of course, Bahamas treat Haitians very, very poorly, treat them inhumanely. The worst racism I've seen against Haitians, incredibly, has been, and incredibly, not even in America, but by other Black people in the Bahamas. Even today, as we sit here, there's stuff that's being streamed out, mistreatment. It's very, very scary. Very scary. And again, that's the thing that really bothers me, is that, you know, the Haitian government itself does very little to help with the situation with the Haitian diaspora abroad, right? You're on your own basically. If you're a Haitian who decide to leave the country for a better life, to avoid dying from hunger, right? To be able to provide your family an opportunity that the Haitian government itself has not done its role, right? Only to be mistreated and go somewhere and be mistreated and be treated less than human. It is incredibly frustrating, infuriating, saddening. A lot of words, a lot of mixed emotions. Right? So Nate Lizard follows up, says there's a lot of undocumented cases of COVID-19. As an emergency responder, right, I've noticed many people with fever, cough, flu-like symptoms are calling 911, fire EMS only to be checked out, but are refusing to be transported to the hospital, mainly due to the fear of being officially diagnosed with COVID-19 by health system. I've noticed many people in our communities are still living life as normal and not taking the threat seriously. Please take our precautionary measures. Keep yourself and your family safe, I'm sure is what he's going to finish up with. And Nate, I totally agree with you, Nate. I think at the top, just very recently, I mentioned that. I mentioned how, even though I think I was talking to Marie, and how we were kind of tongue-in-cheek saying that a lot of these cases are unfortunately being said to be COVID, even though it may not be COVID. But the reality is, in actuality, and in fact, a report just came out. I should have quoted it and be able to reshare for you guys and Google it. There's a lot. Researchers are saying there's almost 10 times. They believe there's somewhere between 5 to 10 times more COVID positive cases than's being reported right now, right? Exactly because of what Nate has just mentioned. A lot of folks aren't reporting. A lot of folks are avoiding the hospital. A lot of folks aren't getting tested. A lot of folks have died at home, right? And so the actual amount of positive cases potentially might be 10 times more, right? So thanks, Nate. Nate is a first responder. He is a firefighter, so I do take a lot of credibility in what he's saying. He's on the front lines day to day. So Nate, you yourself also be safe. Make sure you're covered up. Make sure you're doing all precautions yourself. I know you are, but you're appreciated, and certainly don't want anything to happen to you, Nate. We got Juvie Lover. Certainly appreciate you, Juvie. Juvie is showing us some love. $5. Everything is appreciated. It's all going to the war chest to help with producing better content. As you can already see, guys, I think no one has told me anything about the quality of the image today. We're using a brand new Logitech webcam. Got a little device here that's allowing me to just position it straight ahead. It's a little crooked, guys. It's a little crooked. Let me kind of shift a little bit there. No one has told me the quality of the stream is any better. No one's told me. No one's given me right. And that's a big part because of the massive influx of donations we've been getting recently. So I just want to prove to you guys what you guys contribute. Maybe $1, maybe $2, maybe $5, maybe $50, whatever. It all goes to improving the quality of the stream and for us to do better stuff. So thank you so much. And of course, those of you looking at your pockets right now, don't worry about it. Share the stream. It's as impactful as providing, as donating. So share that stream. I'm not here to put you on the spot. Sharing is free. Sharing is caring. Right? So let's move forward. The Haitian Institute of Statistics and Informatics finally has come out with numbers. They've mysteriously, we still don't know why, to be quite honest with you, went almost 3 quarters and weren't providing any numbers. Just so you know, the Haitian Institute of Statistics and Informatics, they are the institute as it relates to economic indicators. They are the statistical body and bureau for the government that provide unbiased stats of what's going on in the country. And we have numbers. In. And guys, you already know that's how you get to my heart. You get to my heart by giving me numbers, right? So let's take a second here before I dive into it. I'm about to dive into it. Okay, I'm ready to dive into it, right? So here we go. So after a long hiatus, here's some of the numbers. For the past 3 quarters, they gave third quarter 2019, fourth quarter 2019, and first quarter 2020. Okay, so they gave 3 quarters, right? I'll put that away. Thanks again, Julie. 3 quarters worth of facts, right? 3 quarters worth of facts, and we're going to talk about some of the bigger highlights. We're not going to go through all of them, right? You guys can check it out yourself if you type in what's their acronym again? IHSI, Haiti, right? And type that in for you. If you type that in, the first page I'll pull up will be the Institute of Haitian Statistics and Informatics. And in fact, let me put the whole name in here for you guys. For those who are inclined who are number obsessed as I am, you guys can go ahead and check that out. Some of these numbers in depth. Okay, so this is some of the bigger highlights. So for the third quarter, 2018, 2019, just that quarter alone, we saw a negative 0.1%, right, of growth. Remember, this is like paid lock, the heart of paid lock, right? And but to compare that to the 1.3%, right? Compare that to the 1.3%, right? Prior year. Compare that, right? So 1 year to another, we had negative 0.1%, right? And I'll be quite honest with you, that's actually surprisingly good given how aggressive paylock was and how efficient it was in shutting down economic activity, right? But for the entire cumulative 3 quarters, of 2018, right? We're talking about second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, right? Those entire 3 quarters, we saw cumulatively negative 0.2% for those 3 quarters in 2018, 2019. That just passed, all right? This is fiscal quarters, by the way, fiscal quarters, right? Versus the year before, we had 2.3%, which, as I always want to stress out and tell people, 2.3% isn't enough. Our growth rate, our population growth rate is around 2.5%. So we're still, even when we're doing numbers like 2.3%, we're still not keeping up with the population, and we're still becoming poorer as a nation, right? Because that per capita, per nation, right? Right? Negative 2%. And I want to remind folks, for this year, we're looking at negative 3.6 GDP growth expected. Negative 3.2% GDP growth expected, right? Right. So let's talk about specific movers. Let's look at specific movers here, right? First quarter 2020, look at specific movers, specific ones, right? And let's talk about that. Agriculture and we're looking specifically at Q1. We're looking specifically at Q1. Wait a minute. Let's notice something. Give me a second. I'm missing my little Haiti thing here. Nobody pays attention. Nobody pays attention, man. There we go. Now we're home. No one even say, hey man, he suggested, where's your little Haiti thing, man? Doing some stuff at it, took it down. Got to put it back up. Shame on you guys. I'm not to blame either. Right. So first quarter, 2020, right? So some of the bigger, sectors that have been affected thus far. Agriculture, right? Agriculture has been down negative 1.5%. And right now, remember, we're pushing into the third quarter, right? So agriculture is down. This is about April. These are April months, just by the way. Negative 1.5% decrease, right? Agriculture, right? Extractive industries, right? Have been down the biggest, negative 12.5%, right? And this includes, remember, I think last week we talked about how one of the quarries have been shut down, for example, right? So those are sort of the extractive industries being cited here. Electricity, down negative 5.8%. And I've been, as I understand it, for example, in my office, we haven't gotten electricity in over a week. Not 1 hour of electricity in over a week. Thank God for solar panels, right? And these numbers are certainly in line with, what we're seeing, massive decrease. And then, of course, electricity also counts a lot of smaller providers as well have seen massive decreases in their, a lot of microgrids, right? It's also seen very stark decreases in the revenue they've been able to make or not make. The hotel industry, hotel and travel industry, surprise, surprise, right? Hotel and tourism have seen negative 4.8%. No surprise there, right? No surprise there. In fact, I expect the second quarter to be even worse for the hotel and tourism. Financial institutions have seen a overall decrease in growth of about negative 2.1%. right? And those were the biggest movers for the most recent quarter. Some positives. I want to talk about some positives now. We did have some sectors seeing growth, right? So transport saw a 1.7% increase in activity, right? And transport includes, anybody in that domain. Folks have to, transporters, though, even shipping containers, folks shipping stuff into the country, out of the country. And that's not surprising. We know that though people have been restricted, we know that, products have not been. In fact, products have been in higher demand now. So that's very, very good news to see. And additionally, we've seen within where is my communications? That's what that is. I can't do that word. So communication has increased by 4.5%. Telecommunications in particular, right? So telecommunications have been increased by 4.5%, right? And it makes sense, right? If you think about it, right? I mean, even that telecommunications actually has been the one sector that's been consistently, even during Pei Lock, they saw also around 4% growth. Telecommunications has consistently been seeing the most amount of growth. When you think about it, it makes sense. We're in an internet age. Internet is something that is crucial for everybody and anybody. It's one of those things. First things that when somebody receives money from the Haitian diaspora from abroad, they invest in, because that allows them to ask for more money from the Haitian diaspora from abroad, right? And even those who may not have that initial amount of money that come in from abroad, they will hustle, do whatever, and actually put just enough money so they can reach out to some family member with WhatsApp and say, "Kuz, right?" So it makes sense just from the lowest sector, but certainly businesses, every business have realized the importance of internet, the importance of having Wi-Fi, importance of being connected, having that online presence, and so it makes sense that we've seen telecommunications to have that growth. And honestly, I think that's a signal to you as an entrepreneur who's looking to come to Haiti and do some type of business. That space, that telecommunication space, might be that space for you to really think about, what can I do to, put in a venture, online or leverages the internet to impact my business, right? Additionally, we saw real estate, health, and education. They grew together about 1.82% over that particular quarter, and now that also makes sense. Real estate, something folks still are buying, right? Even in the downturn, that's one thing Haitians love to do, right? They love working on their retirement home, right? Working on that dream hotel, right? So it's obvious that is an industry that is usually very resilient. Health and education as well. Also, given COVID and some of the ripple effects of the expenditures of the state in this particular domain, it's not surprising that we've seen increases in health. And finally, education, usually because remember, 90% of the educational sector in Haiti is private, right? And as you know, even in America, when things get tough, people go back to school, right? And this is a very similar thing we're seeing now as well in Haiti, where times are tough. We are seeing more folks try to get back to school, and the value of education. No matter what you may say about Haitians in general, no matter what stratus of life they may be, Haitians value education tremendously and will always, as much as life allows them to, ensure that their kids and themselves are in an educative environment to improve themselves. All right. And of course, very interesting too, the biggest mover of the Haitian economy during the first quarter of 2020 was non-market activities. What does that mean? Charities. Charities. Charities have seen somewhere around 7.8% increase in activity over the first quarter. 7.8, right? Which, as always, Haiti's problems it's a big elephant, and it's going to take a lot of hands to improve the situation in Haiti. So I don't knock charity. especially if that charity can be structured in a way to help empower. Right? If that charity can structure in a way, instead of you're giving folks a loaf of bread, you give them a stove top. You teach them how to source their materials. You give them a little start, capital package to start up, and you let them add it. Instead of giving them that bread, you show them how to make their bread, right? And additionally, too, a lot of stuff charities do that and NGOs do, for example, when it comes to flying people in to paint a house. You could have hired a Haitian to paint a house. You didn't have to fly in some poverty tourist to come in and paint that house. You see, there's ways to, and I always advise folks who are looking to really understand the best way to impact Haiti to do so by, read Daniel Jean-Louis. I've had him on the program twice. He's came out with a new book. One of his books, the first book's Trade Not Aid, right? Exactly, Trade Not Aid, right? A guide for how to structure your activities in the country to empower Haitians rather than take it away. And when you see that 7.8 of recent economic activity has come from the NGO sector, NGOs are in a very unique position to empower, embolden, and surcharge the Haitian economy like no other group of people or organizers, if they can structure their activities in a way to empower rather than pimp out, right? The Haitians' poverty, right? And that's where we're at. Again, I just want to remind folks, again, Haiti GDP is expected to be negative 3.6%, which is incredibly discouraging, while at the same time encouraging, right? Because it means it's even more important today that we get the Haitian diaspora involved, right? Those with the capacity, the means, the thought process, the energy, the frustration, tired of the circumstance of what it is to hear these sort of stats and receive maltreatment in America. Take this as a call to arms to say, hey, here's an opportunity. Let me see what I can do, what I can start, what sort of venture I can begin in Haiti. Do it the right way. And of course, that's why we're here at Sigenti. We certainly want to maximize your chance of having a successful venture. If you're new to what we're doing here, go to YouTube, Sigenti, subscribe. We have a lot of conversations about the best way to go about structuring a venture and maximize your chance of success. In particular, check out the Un Nous Parler series. The Un Nous Parler series is a really good series because that's really what that series is about. In fact, one of the first series I'm looking to reboot when I get back in the country will be the Un Nous Parler series. I want to redo a lot of these older videos I have. They're very poor quality. I'll be honest. I want to redo them, and also a lot of new topics I want to talk about in terms of guidance and empowering folks and letting folks know what the best way to move forward. So a lot of that stuff is going to be coming out when I get back in the country. So look out for it. Can't wait. My equipment's been over there. Can't wait to get back at it. All right. And so that's the news story. That's the stats. And oh, that felt great. Like a guy who just took a shower. It felt great. Woo! Refreshed to talk stats, talk numbers. And yes, the numbers aren't necessarily too good, but there's still opportunity. A true entrepreneur always sees the opportunity in any situation. And I hope I did impart certainly some of the opportunities that exist in transportation, in transport, in telecommunications, real estate, health, education. They're still seeing growth despite a negative 3.6 GDP. And that tells you everything you need to know right there. All right. Let's take a look at the channel, see what folks are saying. We got Johnny Celestin in the house. Good to see you, Johnny. Remember, Johnny is someone who's doing lots of work. Le Mojo Show is a show I always check out. As soon as my show's over, I go check them out where they're at. And they have been doing some really great content. Le Mojo Show, Lemojo. So do check them out. They have their own channel out there. So do like their page. Johnny says, if anyone's interested in starting a business in Haiti, I have a registered SA for sale. It is registered and published in Le Moniteur. Right? And Johnny, what you doing dropping stuff like that? You should have reached out to me first, man. You should have DM'd me first, man. What you doing? We'll talk offline. Right? So anyone else who may be interested, getting a registered SA is a very painful process. Very painful process. I'm not gonna lie to you. Very painful, very expensive. Upwards of $4,000 easily, in months and months, to get it registered. And so, and I think Johnny, it took him much longer. In fact, to get his registered. And so certainly whatever Johnny charges, trust me, c'est un PI, PI. It's a bargain, right? Whatever he may be charging you guys to give you ownership of that essay, believe me. We got Terry Daniel in the house. Terry, good to see you, Terry. Terry says, afternoon, bro. I think stock commodities would definitely help Haiti's exporting woes. Like you said, we have some chocolate, the best chocolate in the world, on the best coffee in the world. A good start, I'd say. You're absolutely right. I mean, take a look. Listen, guys. Listen. Coral Essence. One word or two words. Coral Essence. Look what they're doing right now. Right? They've been on Shark Tank. Right? They themselves are told they're making millions of dollars in revenue. These guys are Haitian Americans who said we have a native thing here that can make beaucoup money if we can just take what we know about the American market and source it from Haiti and bring it to the world. And they're making millions. Imagine if we had more Haitians with that mindset, right? More Haitians who are looking to grab our products and make them staples in the international market. Haiti would be in a very different place. In every other country you look at, maybe China, Taiwan, you name the country that's etched itself out of development, they've done so because of looking what can we do to bolster our capacity to export, right? And so Terry, thank you, Daniel. Terry Daniel, that's you're spot on that, right? Right. APL, can't wait to get back. And we got Dominique Samba. Hey, Dominique, good to see you, man. Dominique's always a guy I always like seeing in the chat. Dominique's someone who's he is the Congolese Sigenti, is what I like to say. He's doing some incredible work highlighting what's going on in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I never considered really visiting the Congo until I saw some of the content he's helped me see. And certainly the Congo is someplace on the top 5 places I got to visit in Africa in this decade for sure, especially once COVID can die down again. So Damani, he has a very great page, Congolese or Congolese Congo, a page that's dedicated to it. So feel free, Damani, you're always welcome to drop that page here in the chat for folks to make sure to go and subscribe, like, follow. Right, good to see. And our final news story, very quick news story, just has to do with we have a library opening in Taba, right? It's a collaboration between the National Book Direction, the National Library, and the Minister of Culture. They opened a library out in Tabar. And actually, this is one of the places, actually, I want to try to make it a CGNT episode. I'm going to try to see within the next month or two if I can visit it myself and highlight it, because it's really important to maximize the ROI of the Haitian natives, the Haitian folks. It's one of the things that is very much lacking in Haiti is the lack of libraries, lack of educational resources that are available. Even though I did mention last week that the griot.net is a place where folks can see over hundreds of books from dozens of authors for free on their phones. It was www.griot.net. But still, there's something that can be said about having that book in your hand and being able to open that book and just, like that and read it over and highlight and all that. If you're not doing it to a library book, but you know what I'm saying, right? And so, very good news, and certainly I will always take a moment to share stories like that when it comes to access of education to those who are disparate and not having it, right? So it's always good to read, always good to see, right? And that is the final news story for the day, right? For those who are here from the top of the hour to the bottom of the hour, man, we've been here an hour 45 minutes. My goodness gracious, actually this is a short day. I mean, I think our personal best was pushing almost 3 hours. Did that about 2-3 weeks ago. The amount of conversation and news, and it wasn't even a news story. I think we had the same amount of news stories as we had today, but the amount of conversation really keeps those emissions long, which is fine. I'm all for it. The more conversation we can have, the better it is. And I remember what we talked about today. We talked about the reopening of the airports, right? Remember, just a real quick recap for those who came in late. We talked about opening to the airport. Remember, JetBlue is going to start July 1st. American Airlines, July 7th. Spirit already is flying day to day. Okay. Talk about COVID numbers. COVID numbers really quick. In Haiti, 4,983 active cases, 98 deaths, right? 641 healed, 136 people hospitalized, 300 and 139 in quarantine, right? We had 70,000 masks distributed across Port-au-Prince from the Haitian government, right? Prisons, we had King Moise pardoned 432 prisoners. A lot of these conditions related to the fact that so many are in pretrial detention and never see the judge or a lawyer. A lot of them were pardoned this week by King Moise, right? We got Emmanuel Toto in custody. He's finally deported. He is a terrorist warlord who's responsible for over 3,000 murders in Haiti of Jean-Baptiste Aristide's people, or people who were supporters of Jean-Baptiste Aristide back in the 2000s. He is deported from America to Haiti. He's under arrest and going to be tried for his heinous acts. International aid, of course, the Pope donated 4 respirators to Haiti as part of a 27 respirator package to Haitians, to Latin Americans. And Haiti had 4 of that 27. Sahara sand ravaged the country for 3 days, but it's out of the country now. And hopefully it didn't ravage as hard as it could have because of folks who were wearing masks. A lot of banks were making buku money. A lot of banks were making buku money off of the devaluation of the good. 700,000 one week, 600,000 another week. Big banks, including Unibank, Sojibank, Capital Bank, and of course that adds to the devaluation of that currency. We talked about that. IH, the Haitian Institute of Statistics and Informatics, came out with some really important numbers we just spent a lot of time talking about. In short, things are bad. In short, most things are very negative. We're looking at a very pessimistic view of reality for the Haitian economy as a whole, but there were some very good sectors of growth, including telecommunications, transport, real estate, health, education. They did see growth despite the very sad numbers, right? Troubling numbers coming out. And of course, finally, the municipal library in Taba is open and available to the public, right? So those were the news stories. As always, guys, YouTube C Genty. If you're new here, if you don't know, we have a channel on YouTube. We drop a lot of content. We have droning in Haiti, driving in Haiti. We have walking in Haiti. We have Haiti Biz News, where we talk about Haiti Biz News. We got Haiti Biz Spotlight, where we are able to go to different businesses in Haiti and show you what they have going on. We have Sights and Sounds, where we go to different touristic spots in the country. Lake Azuri, we go out the city. In Mirabale, Ish, we go to different places, show off what we have, and we try to do a pretty qualitative work. We're having to film a media team that works together to put that content together under my direction. And so if you have not seen, of course, Anu Pale, as I mentioned, when I just talked to you one-on-one, it's very concise, condensed. Here's how you do X, Y, and Z, X, Y, or Z in the country. All right, from a business perspective, at the end of the day here, we do everything here to try to change Haiti by getting you, the person sitting on the fence with a business idea, to try to come and impact and provide jobs, right? And so if you haven't subscribed yet, go and check out the channel, YouTube C Genty, SEEJEANTY. Go check it out, subscribe, check whatever your favorite video may be, share, right? Let folks know what's going on, get that return information out, right? And the podcast, of course, as you know, with the podcast, right? With the podcast, because we have not been in the country. I still wanted to, speak with impactors, folks who have been impacted. And we had an incredible episode last week, that Mary, someone who was deported, has an incredible hard knock story to share. She holds nothing back, tells nothing but the truth. And in fact, I like her YouTube channel, by the way, is Life in Haiti, right? She drops daily videos about the real life that's going on. And she's someone, though she had a rough, life, and that led to crime and stuff like that, but still turned it around, redevoted herself to God, and is now working with young children, providing them English education. She is building homes, real homes for Haitians, and also showing the what Haiti really is like, which again isn't at all like what you think it was, right? Life in Haiti. So we had her on the podcast. I'll tell you right now, it is the most watched episode of the podcast so far for a reason. I have not had a single person who's watched who didn't tear up. It's a powerful, moving story that I am imploring you. If you don't watch any episode of the podcast, watch Marie's episode, right? It is an incredible story. I can't stop talking about it enough. It's on the channel, but it's also on Spotify. Remember, so all you got to do is on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Google Podcasts. It's the Haitian American. If you type this in, the Haitian American living in Haiti podcast, right? If you type that in, you'll see Map Pimpo Haiti. You'll come up, right? And so do make it a point, go follow, go subscribe, right, to the Haitian American Living in Haiti podcast, right? Of course, those who donated today, thank you so much. You guys really are helping with what we're trying to do here. Which it's going to be added to the war chest already. I hope you guys are seeing a qualitative improvement already. This is the first time I'm using this sort of setup here for the stream. That's a big part of because of the folks who have been given so generously. So thank you. But of course, if you enjoyed what we talked about today, make sure you share the stream. Share the stream. That's how you can really impact and really, providing this. I'm not but the best thing you can do, this episode that I hope was value added and informative for you guys, do me that favor, share it on your stream, share it in different Facebook groups. There's like Facebook groups are like Haitians living in Tampa, Haitians living in New York. Share in those groups, share it in your WhatsApp, right? We had a very qualitative episode this time, and of course we'll have it every other time. And as a reminder, for sure, we're not going to have an episode the weekend of July 12th, though, and there might be a chance that we may not have it next weekend either. But still, I'll certainly announce that if that's the case. But I'm certainly going to try to make sure we have an episode next week. Trying to knock out what we have to knock out. So I have that time because but the following week for sure we won't have Haiti Biz News. I'll be back in the country in Haiti, and that's going to be I got a lot of stuff I got to take care of. A lot of stuff, as you can imagine. Been out the country for going on 3 months, going on 4 months now. Lots of stuff to take care of, and so I'll be taking care of that. But we'll be back that following week. But don't worry, we'll be back. We'll be back next week. 90% sure we'll be back next week and we keep on lots of information to share. I'm sure this week. That's one thing Haiti doesn't lack. Haiti doesn't lack activity, right? And before I head out, let me see what folks are saying in the chat, right? As promised, I read everything live on air, no matter what. Villa Show says bonjour. Hey, you're a little late, man, but better late than never, Villa. Hope to see you again 11 a.m. Sundays. We're here, Villa. Hope to have you a little sooner. Mike and Dale, good to see you. The country needs fresh minds, not like me, like you too, man. If you're watching, that means you're part of that, group of people who get it, right? So Mike and I'm glad you're watching as well, man. We need more people like you, right? Shanamil, thank you. Ernest Nicola, see you next week, right? And said, and when are you gonna have Philly Dom on? No, Philly Dom, we're gonna do something real special. Me and Philly, we got something real special. We're gonna do together. Philly isn't someone that can just be contained on the radio or just by voice. Philly Dom is a guy you do something with, right? And given that he's going to be in Haiti for a while anyways, and I'm coming back to Haiti. Trust me. Don't worry, Ernest. Philly Dom and I, we're going to be doing something out this world awesome as an episode. Don't you worry about that. All right? Canal David, hey, man. Good to see you. Appreciate it. All right, guys. That's it. We're done for this episode. And until we're back at it again, we'll be back at it again. Peace, 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 peace.